Hello everyone, my name's Lawrence. I'm the founder and CEO of Pavegen, and would like to welcome you to the Pavegen shareholder webinar, where we'll be running through about the limited investment opportunity for this bridging round that we're currently running. So thank you for those tuning in. I can see a few more joining at the moment as well, so we'll give you a few moments for everyone to join. I know it could take a few moments for people all to get on. And what we'll do is in a moment we'll share the slideshow to run through. So I can see a few more people joining. We're at 40 now. It's great. And I'll let a few more numbers tick up here until we join. I'm dialing in from our Brick Lane offices where we're based, and we'll be kind of running through today some really exciting information around Pavegen and what's going on. So I think we've got everyone now. The numbers look like they're stabilizing, a couple more, and we'll just jump into it. So I'm the founder of Pavegen, and I'm going to run through information around the round, the opportunity in Saudi Arabia, the new production facility, how it will help boost our valuation, how it will help us get closer to exit, this new momentum. We're not funding R&D with this. This is about executing a growth strategy. And we think it's a really straightforward plan. And we'd love to bring shareholders on board to support us, but also to gain a massive upside as we predict, an exit from 12 to 24 months time in line with our growth trajectory. So this accelerates revenue and valuation growth. We have signed terms in place with Saudi investors who will be joining this round also in the future. They will not be getting the discount. This is only for you, but we are in kind of negotiations with signed heads of terms and letter of intent from the new investors. But it will position Pavegen for significant high margin growth in the future and a next round of valuation at a much, much higher level, we believe. So tune in to hear more about the plan. So we'll just jump into it. So just as means of background about the business, I know some of you are new, some of you have been here for a short while. Pavegen has executed over 250 contracts across 45 different countries. We're backed by Wadi Maka Ventures, Tamar Capital, and the Haduja Group, and many other leading investors. Due diligence has been completed. They are on board, these companies, already on our cap table. What makes Pavegen so unique is our intellectual property, and there's a huge amount of value in that. That IP covers us from China to North America to the Middle East and Europe. It covers the mechanical design of how we design our technology to capture energy in a highly efficient way from a footstep. It covers the triangular design of our tiles in what is the most efficient layout of a floor to harness energy, and also the way we harness data from our tiles, with the aim of Pavegen eventually being a SaaS platform with a unique piece of highly defendable hardware. And we work across public realm, retail, train stations, airports, office spaces. Anywhere there's high footfall is an opportunity to use Pavegen. And there's some examples below from Hong Kong through to Washington and even in Oman with our products on the ground. And I think we pack a punch bigger than our weight, so to speak, in that we work with some of the largest brands in the world, from Citibank through to people like IKEA, multiple projects with Westfield Mall, multiple projects with Siemens. I think the latest number is 7 with Siemens, and we've signed an MOU with them as well, and they could be a potential exit partner alongside Schneider Electric. Mercedes-Benz, we've had around 4 or 5 contracts with them, and many others. So just take a look at the picture of the brands that we work with. All of these could buy us one day. They're all big enough. They've all got the scale to do that, but they're all people that are using Pavegen and coming back for more again and again. And we're really improving the world through the power of a human footstep. Look, we transform something as simple as a human footstep into something that can light public spaces and create a real impactful moment between people and the cities they live in. And I think what's so exciting about Pavegen is the media love what we're doing, and it continues on and on the message of Pavegen with no investment. Recently, there was a viral video we found that had 145 million views. It's just amazing that this continues, and it drives a really strong pipeline for the business. Recently, we've had some great activity in the past few weeks, just a snapshot of what we were talking about in our team meeting early this morning. In Saudi Arabia, we've been really lucky to have developed a project at Sports Boulevard, a huge giga project. It's now in the ground, installed. We'll talk more about that soon. But then in going into the Americas with Toyota, we've recently installed it in Kentucky in one of their factories. We have a Pavegen install there, a 70K deal. And then also we've moved into the world of paddle. Paddle is obviously a sports phenomenon that's taking over the world. We've done a first people-powered paddle court. I'm just going to quickly jump into a video showing this project. Excuse the sound, I'll just turn it down a little bit here. So this is a paddle court working in partnership with Heineken and its brand Amstel to look at generating energy from rage in the paddle court. The people get very passionate around it, and what we did is we installed Pavegen inside the paddle court itself, and then we used the energy of people playing paddle, people being passionate, people getting really excited and angry about the game to actually power a fridge. They made a TV advert about it. They paid I think it was just under 100K for the contract, and it shows how the power of sport can actually help people to have a cool drink. But there's many applications for it beyond this use case, and this is something that's being aired on TV, as far as we understand, by Amstel across Mexico, and this was a launch in Mexico itself. So really great use case in what is a very fast-growing sport with potential for Pavegen in the future. That was just a fun thing to drop in that we've been doing. But back onto the more serious stuff is Hong Kong is our other growth market. Our plan is to take everything we've learned in Saudi Arabia and have a repeatable model, and then do this again and again, and it will allow us to use the organic flywheel effect of projects to allow us to move into much higher value contracts, but with multiple clients as well. So what you can see on the Hong Kong areas, we've just completed a contract with Cyberport, that's 170K smart city development, and we have a letter of intent signed for 805K for a project that will go live at the end of the year. So it's really exciting. That's 805K going live at the end of the year, where we are getting into much higher deal sizes, and we perceive that in the future as being a big driver for our future growth, is that we're moving from 100K deals up until these larger contracts. So in a way, I think the thing I'm most excited about in the future is that, you know, we only need one contract of 5 million, and we're in discussion with many of these contracts to really see a huge step change for Pavegen in the future. And we're doing this across global markets, so it goes beyond smart cities, transport hubs, retail, even museums and smart spaces. So one of the biggest wins we've had recently is at Sports Boulevard. So this is a giga project in Saudi Arabia. It's 135 kilometers long. We have 5 installations on site. The project was, we dropped it in ourselves. It's plug and play. It was very easy to do, and we power the lighting along the walkway. We've got a great relationship with Jane McGivern, the CEO. She was previously CEO of the Sphere in Las Vegas. I think what's so exciting about this project is the scope of it. This is just the start, and there's much more to come. And when I met Jane, she said, "Lawrence, I don't need you to pitch me. We love your product. We love how it integrates people and the environment and our cities together as one. And we're all about movement, and this links into this." And it was amazing to see the synergy that we both had together, and we're in conversation around further projects with them. And what we're doing is we're raising this investment round to facilitate our growth in the region of Saudi Arabia, because we know it will massively increase our valuation. And I just want to give you some of the proof points we've got in this market of why we know this is the best thing to do. So one, we've secured lead investment already from Wadi Maka Ventures, who are a government-based VC fund, and also a member of the Saudi royal family has invested in Pavegen. Secondly, we have Sports Boulevard. It's installed. Everyone knows it. When I go to Saudi Arabia, and we're spending a significant amount of time in the region, is people say, "I've walked on it. I know the product. My kids have played on it." So it's really great in terms of its resonance with the local markets. We've already delivered contracts with Saudi Aramco. They are a client. We're working on them in their second and third briefs now. And then also King Faisal Hospital too. We plan to build a local factory that will go live in the coming months that will allow us to make a made in Saudi product, which is so important to get top of the procurement pile. We want to be the first company they look at, and it will make it a lot easier for us to win large government contracts. We've already got a strong pipeline from banking sector, transportation sector, and others wanting more products as well. Now, we have completed significant R&D over the last 2 years. R&D is finished. So we have built the Pavegen solar offering. Okay, so PaveGen Solar is really exciting because it's 30 times more energy can be produced. Okay, and this product generates energy from the sun and also from people. Why have we done this? I think it's really interesting because at busiest times of day, no one walks in Saudi Arabia, especially in the summer. And we thought, well, our product's not being used. So by integrating solar between the hours of 12 and 3, and remember, even construction sites are shut during this time. So even during these times, we're now getting energy from the sun, and it will go all day long. And then at night time, we'll get energy from people. So if you walk around Saudi Arabia, it's not uncommon at 1 a.m. to see parents playing with their kids out in the public spaces. So we'll get energy almost 24 hours a day as the hybrid combination of PaveGen linked with solar. And it's allowed us to bring out a new Power Walker product. This is something that can be used in the built environment, that can be used in new building developments, that will be entirely off grid, all the lights powered as a combination of solar and also PaveGen. And it's very efficient, the solar panels we're using, and we have it built. We have the first arrays gone in at Telford. It is being used, and we believe now it's all about growth for this product. We've launched the product. We've had really, really good traction on it across the Middle East, especially with our initial focus. So what we want to do is we want to raise investment now of this bridge round where there's a 20% discount for investors to get involved. And we have 2 investors who are committed to investing in this round as well, large institutional investors who will not only be giving us capital, but they'll be bringing in their support in the region for us. So one of them is, we'll go on to it shortly, but they're working on one of the biggest giga projects in the Middle East. So we're doing a bridge round now. Phase 2 in the next few months, they'll be completing their investment. And this gives us options. So one, maybe we'll be able to do a trade sale in the very short term. Next is we would work with other institutional investors, including the Public Investment Fund in Saudi Arabia. PIF, we are speaking to, they have reached out to us. We've also got an opportunity, and we've signed terms with the group that will allow us to do a public offering in the US. We would have SEC approval on the PaveGen offering. So we'd be able to go really big in America, drive a lot of new sales activity alongside the ability for us to have a significant opportunity to sell stock in PaveGen, potential for secondaries for investors. So you may be able to have an exit in 12 months time with this route. And then the final one is once we scale up, we would also then really look towards driving that high value trade sale. And our dream is to get PaveGen to north of $1 billion valuation in this process. One thing to be clear on is there's no preference shares in PaveGen. That we have one grade of economic rights for the shares. So if PaveGen is sold for 100 million, everyone gets the same amount. There's no prefs, and that's really important for us to maintain. I want to jump into a bit of information about these 2 investors that we've got lined up. So one of them is the Chief Strategy Officer at the Diriyah development in Riyadh. It's a $63 billion development. He is one of the founders of it. He works directly with the Crown Prince himself. So he is one of our investors that we have signed terms with, and we're working on the final stages of it now. The next one is from our current investor, Wadi Maka. They are a government VC fund. Intersect are their venture builder. They work very closely with us, all their investing for them. So we have signed a heads of terms with them that will be for a 2 million investment that will allow us to grow in Saudi. They'll provide us local support. They'll provide us all the infrastructure we need to scale in Saudi Arabia as well. So this is around the exit. So we see a massive potential across 4 key verticals for the exit. So the first is within advertisers, big tech companies, so the Amazons, the Googles. JC Deco, the advertising company, are directly monitored on all of their CSR performance. It's now their #1 objective. And PaveGen is a way that we can power their lighting, give digital feedback on their products, and in a way that will allow them to win more deals. We spoke to Dallas, the UK CEO of JC Deco, and he said, look, my bonus is all about our CSR performance, and I need you to help me get my bonus and to help me win more clients, because PaveGen I want to see in every single bus stop in the UK, and we're working with them on that. We've delivered a number of projects with them. The next is industrial conglomerates from Siemens, E.ON, ABB, and Schneider Electric. So working with people like Siemens, we've got an MOU with them. We've had 7 contracts with them. They would be an easy acquisition target. We would be an easy acquisition target for them. Then it's big real estate players from SK Group in Korea, Brookfield, Ferrovial. because they're all about sustainability in the built environment. That's a really key indicator of new developments, and we offer that. And the final is the PIF companies based in Saudi Arabia. So there's massive potential for that too. So I think if you can see from Qiddiya, which is the city all about the power of play, PaveGen offers the most fun, interactive, sustainable experience out there. We've met the board member of Qiddiya. There's ongoing conversations with them. And this goes in for the Red Sea project, Roshan Group, and many other PIF and these big projects in Saudi Arabia too, is that potential. And just to dial in a bit further on PIF, so if you look at their recent acquisitions, they recently bought Electronic Arts for the between 35 and 50 billion they bought them for, and this was done by Qiddiya in the city of play. And then Lucid Motors have now have majority ownership by PIF, totaling 8 billion. So we've got a plan that will, one, allow PaveGen to scale in the market, two, allow us to have local manufacturing in the market, and three, massively increase our valuation and get a lot closer to an exit. And I'm going to talk more detail about how we're going to do that. There's no doubt there is a huge opportunity in Saudi Arabia with the Vision 2030, the giga projects moving forward. NEOM means nothing. I know you may have heard the news about NEOM, but they're just reallocating their resources into things that will give them a stronger return on their investment quicker. So we don't see any issue around NEOM being reallocated. We've got really strong relationships. We have a member of the Saudi royal family and a government VC fund on our cap table today. And we reflect Saudi's ambition for long-term job creation by PaveGen creating jobs in that market as well. So we want to make this a repeatable model, make this our global hub for manufacturing for the GCC region, while still maintaining a UK/European production base. So we've got a strong market fit. It's been proven. We've been finalists at awards. We've been there. We've been pounding the pavements in the Middle East. There's not more of a resonant offering than PaveGen. We have over 250 qualified leads last year coming in from Saudi Arabia, justifying the fact that this is the right market for us to be in. Now, there are these, we've got flagship product, people know us. It's proven. We know that we have this differentiated product with solar combined with PaveGen. It's a perfect offering for this market as well. So we've got a strong pipeline in the market. So from 500K's worth of deals with Saudi Aramco currently in discussion, a contract for 7 million where we've been tendered for the World Cup stadiums, Bank Al Bilad, which is one of the equivalent of Lloyd's Bank in Saudi Arabia. We're negotiating a contract in their headquarters. Qiddiya, the city of play and entertainment, it's very much linked to PaveGen as well. And the list goes on and on and on. Now, we've got the investors. We know there's big projects there. I don't need to talk about that more. We know that it's a huge opportunity for PaveGen. It will strengthen our position in the market, enable us to quickly set up a very lean manufacturing hub and servicing region within Saudi, and create a massive platform for scale across the GCC. The partnership isn't just about money. I believe that the strategic capital is absolutely critical to our performance in the market. So with having one of the government senior advisors, and also a government VC fund, they can both offer really powerful things. So it's senior level advice, it's CEO introductions at the absolute highest level, it's sales enablement to really help us build that pipeline, driving the valuation up, and support navigating the setup process, where it's not as simple as clicking on Company's House. It's a very complicated process to set up a business in Saudi Arabia, and they'll help us do that and set up the local supply chain that we need. So we have that support network that will really add value and accelerate our go-to-market as well. So we've got a really strong growth plan, which includes the value engineering our product, bringing a price point down of PaveGen. We're working on a plan at the moment that will see an 84% reduction in the manufacturing price of the PaveGen generators. Now, here's one I made earlier. If you look at, this is a generator that we have as a desk light, but the diameter is about 21 centimeters, and it's a fairly big mass of material. Now, we have a plan to bring that down from the 21 centimeter diameter to the size of a watch, and that will see a massive cost reduction, allow us to maintain margin but grow into new markets as well. It will allow us to, one of our other plans is to reduce install time by 40%, maintain 75% gross margins, and build this repeatable playbook that we can do again and again. Now, data is a really important part of PaveGen's offering. We are a unique piece of hardware with a software as a service platform linked to that. And this is called Urban Movement OS. And our plan is to go live with 5 flagship smart city projects with a full movement to data stack as part of that. And that's recurring, revenue, building our ARR. Now, we'd use AI to deliver predictive footfall insights, ESG reporting, and engagement optimization. So then we would really focus on these multi-region contracts with large global brands, and then accelerating our global sales expansion. So a very lean go-to-market in MENA, Southeast Asia, and North America. Build 60 plus qualified pipeline deals of over $1 million. We believe we can do that as we further develop the sales strategies. And then launch like embassy supported pilots. My rule is no one ever says no to an invitation from the king. And when you go to an embassy and you invite local CEOs, they always say yes when it comes on embassy headed paper, no matter where you are. And then the other thing is, we know that Pavegen is a really efficient way of generating energy from movement like this, but there is a potential to scale this into vehicle harvesting. So we see huge potential in the future of using the energy of cars, harnessing that energy, storing it in batteries, and using that as to power lights in car parks, power retail developments, and many, many other applications. So that's where we see it going in the next 24 months. We've got a plan to get to $1 billion valuation. It's about building revenues, getting the recurring revenue base in there and established, and then penetrating the market with category leadership and really getting into a point where we're embedded into national frameworks. We're already dominant in this kinetic energy space, but really owning that space. We see Pavegen Urban OS becoming the Salesforce of behavioral data in cities. We can find out how happy people are when they walk on Pavegen. So not only is it a sustainability solution, it's a solution that's also providing a rich data set that people need. And it's incredibly sticky because it's in your ground. You can't dig up Pavegen, it's there for good. And then that really leads us on to, along this journey, getting into a strategic sale or IPO as well. We built a really rich pipeline of global projects, and these go from World Cup stadiums in Mexico to Malaysia. We have these smart city projects with PMCAP, walkways in Manchester, back in the UK, banks in India. Actually, Citibank would be our second client. Marathons using it for activations. Zoos permanently installing it in California, walkways in Hong Kong, even one of the palaces in Romania, we have a contract live, and even Sandringham Estate with the royal family. I think they could do with some good news right now, and are looking to Pavegen to help them. I think there's also some really interesting data insights around the sales penetration of Pavegen. February this year saw 42% year-on-year increase in sales team activities. So there's some really good signs coming through. We're not selling Pavegen. You don't phone up Pavegen and buy it in a minute. The sales development process takes 6 months plus. So that is a really good sign for the future. We've also seen a 200% year-on-year increase in individual salespersons' meetings, and we're working really hard to further increase that as well with other marketing activity. So this is a quick summary of the deals that I mentioned earlier. So there's a really good array of new pipeline projects, even one here in Belgrade. So this round matters now. We've got this £14 million immediate pipeline. We've got an 800K letter of intent signed with a Hong Kong partner to bank later this year. The investors are not just a pipe dream. We have heads of terms signed with them already. So it's something that is just a matter of time for us to close. The local presence in Saudi Arabia unlocks future growth for the business, and it gives us a clear path to the next round at a much higher valuation, which will maximize the potential for an exit. So it's a great time to come in at that 20% discount. Come in now, and then we see a huge upside in valuation over the next 12 months as we get a lot nearer that exit as well. It's a limited allocation only, so it's only available to current investors. That's it. And limited allocation. So please get back to us now with your signed subscription letters. It's EIS, so obviously it's qualifying for 30% tax relief, and it's a discount on the last valuation, which was £35 million. So that's a quick summary from me. I've got some questions. Let me just get these up. Some questions that have come in. So I'll leave that kind of summary slide up. So when will the exit be? I think obviously this is I can't guarantee when, but look, we think there's a serious opportunity in the next 12 months and beyond. We need to be close this round. We need to get the next round of funding done to maintain momentum in Saudi Arabia. But we believe 12, 24 months is a huge potential we can close this. Close with an exit and with a trade sale will be, I think, our most viable option. Have you thought, Jack, about hiring an M&A house and doing a big sell side M&A activity? I think Pavegen represents a lot of things to different brands, and one of the ways to get the best possible pricing would be to take this to a global M&A house. It could be like a PwC or one of the big guys, and do it that way. And we see that getting to a bidding war with a number of large global brands would be the best way to get the highest price. So that's certainly something we're looking at. Our next challenge is about unlocking this potential huge growth opportunity in Saudi Arabia, and then off the back of that, we would then potentially look at engaging a sell-side M&A house in that. So is Jeff Martin still on the board? So just for context, so we've got a really experienced board, an investor director who's in charge of all of the shareholders. But Jeff Martin is his role previously was head of multimedia and entertainment at Apple. He was number 37 hire at Apple. He reported directly to Steve Jobs, and he was responsible for the Think Different campaign that launched the iMac and the iPod. And he's really been pivotal because we met while working on a project together, and he said, I love Pavegen because you're unlocking so much value in cities that everyone else is trying, but they're all failing. And so he's an investor in Pavegen. He's on the board. He's deeply committed. He's over here every 6 weeks working closely with us. Can I sell my shares right now and cash out? So at the moment, Pavegen is not publicly listed. So it's not something we're able to sell your shares. However, as we move forward with this momentum, there's going to be more opportunities for like secondary share sales as we do larger rounds. So there'll be chances to potentially get out in that point down the line. Yeah, I think the most exciting thing for me with Pavegen at the moment is this huge opportunity ahead in Saudi. I think also we resonate more than ever. I think whatever's going on in the world, now is a time where people really need hope, and Pavegen is hope, because your step makes a difference. Your steps count. You can now help make a difference to your world. And I think that's why young and old people really love this idea and this technology. So from me, I've tried to be as quick as I can on this. What we need to do from here is email in with your questions. If you'd like to set up a one-on-one call, please let me know. I'd like to thank you so much for your support of our mission. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for supporting what we're doing. It's not possible without our amazing investors. And really, please get back to us with any of your feedback on this. And in the next coming days, we aim to wrap this up. So I'd like to say from me, Lawrence, and the Pavegen team, thank you so much for your time today. And we very much look forward to hearing from you soon. Thank you so much.